Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the weekly love reading for the period of today, Sunday, June 2nd, through Saturday to come, June 8th. And speaking of the 8th, I'm actually starting with the Eight of Autumn or Pentacles, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, especially when I saw all these other cards that I got to start with, they're all so loving, like love partnership, card number 26 in my numerology deck. Dating, which looks like the Two of Cups, right? In the hashtag creepy deck. I call this the hashtag creepy deck, by the way, for those of you who don't know, because, well, for several reasons. They just have really funky energy on them when they arrived at my house. And I wasn't really sure why they arrived. I don't even remember buying these oilies, and my daughter was like, where the hell did those come from? Like, what are they? Get rid of them, because she's psychic too and she could feel it, and they were gross. And a lot of my viewers who are, extremely empathic and could feel it through, like, the connection through the channel by watching. They're like, yeah, don't use those anymore. I'm with your daughter. Like, they're horrible. But at the same time, others were, receiving messages through them, and I can't, say that I wasn't too. We're still getting the messages out of them. I cleaned them, and am, able to read them still. But another reason that I can't say I like them either necessarily, is that they contain a twin flame card, and the description in the book for that twin flame card states that it is an effortless relationship. So that means the person that made them knows nothing about twin flames, is not one themselves, and just basically has no clue and is misinforming and misleading people, and that pisses me off royally. In fact, I went on a total rant about it in a video that I called, basically like effing truth, and has a picture on it that says caution, rant, rant ahead. But nevertheless, we're starting with this really beautiful energy from these cards, which again is a very Two of Cups like card. It's called dating. From my fortune teller cards, proposal with these two rings. So another card very much about love, relationship, commitment, maybe even engagement and or marriage. The Ascended Masters, which I also spoke of in that rant. So all these other cards made sense and again seemed super, super loving. And I'm like, so what's up with the Eight of Autumn? And then I said, well, 26 is 8 and the Eight of Autumn is 8. So maybe there's a connection. And then I thought about what the Eight of Autumn is all about. First, from the card, it's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Okay, this is a card that's basically stating that where we put our effort is from where we get our reward, or we reap what we sow. What you put in is what you get out. And that's true of relationships. And that's true of the time that we dedicate to them. As it relates to love specifically, the Eight of Autumn or Eight of Pentacles says to you, if you're single, but interested in love, looking for love even, you may be too focused on money and or what you do to earn it, your career and so on. For a relationship to be drawn to you through the law of attraction. You may be blocking it through all this focus on work and not carving out a space for a relationship. So particularly for those of us who seek one, who want one, it's very important that we make room for one. Now, it's interesting, when I pick it up, Also behind it is the Four of Summer, the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups can be a card of sort of like we miss out on opportunities. We block our blessings. We block our opportunities because we're not expecting any. You know, we're just like, oh, well, nothing good ever comes to me. Nothing good ever happens to me. And so we're not looking at what is on its way to us because we're actually deflecting it. For those of us who are in a relationship already, you know, actively in a relationship, this can mean that still we're not making enough time for one another and or the relationship, and that maybe because we're too focused on money and or career. And we need to make sure that we carve out that time or the relationship is going to suffer severely. It also talks about how in all things in life, again, we reap what we sow. The effort you put in is the effort you get out. And relationships definitely take effort. So these are our cards. I'm going to start with this deck, I think, to get the perspective from the masculine. Let's do it. First, the dice. Now that the cards are out of the way, I'm beginning with spend money. See, now we're not supposed to focus on money so much. Like, you know, go ahead and spend some. Have some fun. Stay in bed. That's another way to work on your relationship. And also, it's 50-50. All these cards, all these dice so far, definitely relating to the effort that's required for a relationship. It is 50-50. We both have to put in effort. We do have to spend some money and spend some time with the spend, period. And staying in bed again is helpful. It can be helpful. Spirit still says it's 50-50. So no one partner is to carry the burden or to feel burdened or burdensome upon the other. Spirit still says spend money. And also romantic dinner. So this could definitely be on what we're spending money to make sure we get that time in together. This one guy who wanted to date me a couple of years ago, he asked me out. I said okay. And I said okay, in all honesty. I wasn't looking for anyone. I already knew, you know, at the time, like sort of what kind of path I was on, and I had already been awakened to all of that. So, I just was not looking to date anyone. But I wasn't closed-minded or closed to anything either. So I said, sure. And I said, on these days I go to the gym because at that time, I was super strong. I've suffered a lot from, like vitamin deficiencies and stuff with plant-based food that, and my desire for only natural stuff. So I don't like pharmaceutical vitamins and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I had to stop working out the way that I used to because my joints and everything really began to pain me and to not work very well. Like I could barely walk and for a short period. So, but at the time when he asked me out, I, was in CrossFit, which is one of the toughest workouts, one can participate in. It's cardio, it's weightlifting, it's all this stuff, right? So I told him those days, I said, on these other days, I'm on a couple of boards, and so we have meetings and things on these days. But between these hours and these hours, I'm available on these days, and I'm willing to skip this meeting or this workout on this day. And he said to me, like, it's okay, just forget it. You don't have time. Which is fine with me because, like I said, again, I wasn't looking for anyone. So, okay, whatever. You asked me out. I don't care. It was like that was my attitude at the time. But were I really looking for a relationship and, had I been hoping, let's say, that he would ask me out, like interested in him or something, that would have been a really bad moment for me. I'm sure I would have been truly hurt. So there are people out there experiencing that, and that's what I want you to think about in relation to this 8 of autumn. And up into the 9 of spring, which means, we can persevere. However, there's ways around this thing. We can work it out. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive. That what you created, very possibly your relationship in itself, it's worthy of protecting, right? Not letting it fall apart because you're not making time for it. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. That's better. 9 of spring. Major Arcana card 13, release or death in the traditional tarot, which represents the sign of Scorpio. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So what we could be releasing is this old thought pattern, old practice where we put all our time into work, where all we care about is earning, and consider people and human interaction and relationships a little bit more heavily too. Not necessarily that they should outweigh our desire to earn and to be successful, but again, it's 50-50, right? We need balance. That's the key word here. Opening to Major Arcana card 12, Awakening, or the Hangman in the traditional tarot. This 12 I had felt was going to be particularly significant this week after, I often start the reading and I'll look up at the clock and I'll be like, oh, it's 11:11. It's this time, it's that time. Yesterday when I was recording, I looked up, similar to that, and it was 12:12. But unlike maybe some other times, I just really felt that 12 was going to be significant. And sure enough, the Hangman showed up in the general reading, not once but twice, clarifying itself. Like I had laid the first spread and then I laid the second one on top of it, and the Hangman was atop the Hangman. So of course the 12, and there were many other 12s and or 3s in the reading. So I still see this definitely popping up for people and being particularly significant and impactful upon them in some way, the number 12 or 3 this week. Look at things in a different way. And also this message is going to be important too. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Like, change your perspective. Don't worry about your progress being halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. So maybe, to continue what we've been talking about, looking at the way that you focused on your work and career, or the amount of time that you put into it, and considering whether or not there's balance there, and being giving yourself an open, honest assessment of yourself. And also opening to the 7 of winter, caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, like your relationship, all right? Including non-material resources, such as peace of mind or your relationship. Be aware of the results of your actions, like not paying any attention to your partner or not giving yourself any social time for social interaction if you're single and looking. And also be aware of what others might be doing behind your back, because this can also be a card of like thievery, trickery. I say that it represents for me the energy of joy stealing, but we can steal our own joy. We can steal our own joy, like by working too much, like by lacking confidence, by lacking esteem, so we don't have the nerve. We're full of fear. We don't have the nerve to do certain things that we need to do, in defense of ourselves, or to promote ourselves, or just to get out there and live. And in that way, we're stealing opportunities and joy from ourselves. But yes, other people can do it to us too. And sometimes it involves actual loss and or theft. As far as relationships and partners, I don't believe anybody can steal a partner from you. Stole my boyfriend, stole my girlfriend, kind of was never yours if that sort of thing is happening. And opening to the 9 of summer. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So things are wanting to be manifested in your life. Things that you've asked the universe for. Now it's up to you to not block them and to allow them in, to draw them in even. Open to the Two of Winter. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn, maybe this other is your boss or, your employees. Like, what will they think if I don't put enough, effort in here? But it can be anything. It can be, what will mom think about me dating this person that's different? What will dad think? What will my, friends think, my exes? This guy's a lot older than me. This guy's a lot younger than me. We're different races, whatever, because that definitely came up too. And twos represent partnership. Twos represent twos in the tarot. So yeah, procrastination and worrying about what others will think it can be blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. And one more, I'm feeling one more. Ooh, it is the Three of Winter. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. Three of Winter, as a 3, which I said would be, likely would be very significant this week in the lives of those of you watching, can be representative in the tarot of, or for me at least, what I call parties of 3, which can be love triangles maybe. And by love triangles, I don't necessarily mean, an active 3-way relationship where there's, cheating or whatever. But there could be etheric, even energetic ties to the past, to exes. With the Death card having shown up, there may be something of which we need to let go. There can be a third energy that's just maybe looming over your relationship with someone, not necessarily connected to an actual person, but just a funky energy that is blocking you guys from moving forward. Why? Because that's what you've manifested. Instead of manifesting positivity, you've drawn in some sort of negativity. Three of Winter opposite the Nine of Summer can also be you finally getting out of a relationship where there was hurt, where there was pain, or you finally moving beyond hurt or pain, maybe with the person that you're currently with or with somebody from whom you're separated, but there's room for you to get back together now because we're going to move past the hurt. We're going to let go of that. We're going to release it and, start in a different way. We're going to look at things at a different perspective, like the Hangman, another 3 suggests that we do, and then go from there. Nine of Summer. Nice. That's what I like to see. It's the Queen of Summer now. Compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So in relation to like that 3 and pain we might be feeling, and the 2 of Swords also, which again could be about you trying to live your life the way somebody else would have you live it rather than the way you want to. This Queen of Summer can be talking about that here. While you're trying to be this people pleaser, don't forget about what you need, what you desire, what you want. You want that older man or woman. You want that person of a different race. You want that person of the same sex. And trying to please, dad, who's religious, you're ignoring your own feelings rather than nurture them. Not okay. Not okay in terms of your own spiritual and emotional health. So you got to nurture you too. The Queen of Summer in the tarot, as far as traditional practice, represents the sign of Scorpio, like the Death card that we've already seen, but can also be here because of Cancer and or Pisces, or anybody who is, dealing with these sort of emotions, or maybe is particularly watering their chart, or is likened to these traits or attributes. Queen of Summer. Speaking of 3s, the overall energy is Major Arcana card 21, the Whirl, which is a fire element energy for me. The card feels like fire. You might be saying, what the hell does that mean? It feels like fire. It feels like fire. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't explain it. But it is representative of the element of fire for me. I haven't attributed it to any particular sign. So, Aries, maybe Mars himself, Sagittarius, maybe Jupiter himself, and or Leo, and maybe the sun, having something to do with the sun shining on us again. The world, more importantly for me, is about something having come full circle, or the universe helping us to be eased or to ease ourselves out of a situation that we should have been out of a long time ago, like a relationship that wasn't working, or that where we were living a lie. So I'm, dating the person my age rather than the older person, or rather than the younger person, because that's what looks good and that's what people expect of me and that's what pleases other people. You can do that by for so long before your soul is aching at you. Or I'm living a straight life when I know in my heart I'm gay. Or I'm living a gay life when I know I'm bi. I'm interested in the opposite sex too, or whatever it is. It's going to be different for different people. But you're being pulled out of that old situation and eased into one that is far better fitting your life purpose and your journey and your souls, with where your soul is going to be more resonant and happy. The world can require some patience, though. It's very much like the Tower for me. Like they feel very similar. However, the Tower is an abrupt, very unexpected energy that comes through. This one can sometimes take some time. And once we realize that we're sort of being eased out of these old situations, then we might want time to speed up. Like now all of a sudden we're rushing the universe, whereas we took our time, years even, to address our situation and to begin to leave it. Now we want it over, I should have never stayed with this guy. We haven't gotten along for years. But, I pushed I should have got a divorce 10 years ago. Instead, I decided to stay married to him for another 10 years. So now it's been 20 and I'm just as miserable as I was 10 years ago. Now I want out. So now you're in a hurry, but the universe is saying, okay, it's going to take some time, but I'll let you out of this relationship finally. Remember when I first started, there was a young man with whom I'm still Facebook friends now. I don't know if he's still is watching my videos, but I know we do still talk from time to time. He'll still ask me questions about, journey from time to time. And like I said, we are friends on social media. So, I see him living life and he sees me living life and so on and so forth. When he first started watching my channel, though, he was living as a straight male. And it was my videos that suggested to him, and convinced him to come out to his dad. And he did right away then, and of course has been out ever since. But now he's completely out, and that was part of how he was able to begin to live this best life that he's living now. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about here, that I'm feeling with these cards this week. Oh, actually, I didn't lay the spread that I meant to. So I guess we're meant to see this spread. Let's see what it is. I was going to do the perspective of the masculine, but nope, that's not what we're doing. So crowning the masculine instead is the 5 of Spring. Occasionally you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. So again, it's still about doing what you need to do, even if somebody else doesn't like it and it causes you to butt heads with them. Also, alternatively, or more positively for me, the 5 of Spring or 5 of Wands can be, although people say it's about conflict, where it's not about conflict or being conflicted, like internal conflict, or where it is about conflict, it's usually conflict with one's close friends and or family for me. And where it's not, it's about that sort of very Martian, by any means necessary, go get it and handle this, take action kind of energy. Masculine surrounded by Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer. You're starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. So sitting here under this, again, you may be butting heads with somebody on something you want to do. It's a brand new path you haven't walked before. It's, what you're feeling in your heart to do. Universe pushing you out. And you got to have faith that this is what you're meant to do, despite, who likes it or who doesn't. Masculine subconscious. The 8 of Spring. Very nice. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. The Eight of Spring is a super positive card that means that the universe is working on your behalf. First of all, eights definitely represent our karma. And again, where we put our effort, that's from where something comes out. So that good karma that we've put out into the universe helps to bring us good things back from the universe. And this card is representative of the universe doing all kinds of work on our behalf. It's also about communication coming and or going from us, buzzing, right? You know, news is buzzing around. And so you may be communicating with somebody or thinking about communicating with somebody, maybe contacting them or having them contact you. Could also be expecting something even like in the mail, or you may receive something, maybe a card or something like that too. Crowning the feminine. It's the Princess of Spring. I told you the red was, the world represents fire for me. Fire. Oh, look at all this fire. Fire, fire, fire. The Princess of Spring is energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broaden horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. The Princess of Spring for me, speaking of personal growth in particular, is a Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion. Also karma, right? Luck, as they say. But can also be a Leo or an Aries or someone likened to those traits or attributes as well. And is more importantly about some sort of opportunity, in this case, in love, with this being the love reading, coming our way. Feminine surrounded by the Seven of Summer, maybe options too. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision that you can, so that you can move forward with a priority. I think the priority is you. And if you need to do more research in order to do that, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. So again, this is about our heart leading us and nothing or no one else. Feminine subconscious. Major Arcana card 10, the Wheel, which also represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. In addition to that, Jupiter and the Wheel are connected to the fixed signs: Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius. And this is about abundance coming our way. Of course, love, one of those, love, a type of abundance. Crowning. Wow. Major Arcana card 20, renewal or judgment in the traditional tarot, which represents for me the planet Pluto, ruler of Scorpio. And this card, as it relates to love, can be about second chances, right? The second time around, as the song goes. And as it relates to relationships in general, a crossroads, right? We've come to this crossroads and we got to decide, like, where do we go from here, if anywhere? So some of us are going to decide we're not going any further. Like, this is the end of the line. There's nothing else here between us. And that's okay, right? That's the world. That's where we're off this. But for some, it's time again for us to get started, but in a new way, a new path. And when I picked up the World, guess who was behind him? The Prince of Summer, who is romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. This card was also upright. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. This can be a Scorpio, yet again, because with this, judgment, death, even the fire sitting next to it, because Mars is also a ruler of Scorpio. And the Wheel, Jupiter, connected to the fixed signs. Again, Scorpio is the fixed sign of the element of water. So definitely can be a Scorpio, but also Cancer, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes who's not a water sign at all, who's just making some sort of proposal to you, like asking you on a date. And do you have time? You know, can you make time? Can you carve that out of your schedule so that you can take advantage of these opportunities? Also, when I picked this up, also behind it is Major Arcana card 4 upright, the Emperor. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. Maybe you are to be the one to make some sort of proposal and to initiate something, to initiate some sort of contact, maybe communication. This is also you taking back control of not only your life, but maybe your love life. And again, dealing with the people and in ways that you wish to deal with people and relationships, based on what you feel in your heart and not what someone else says or some sort of ideology or something. So the Emperor is definitely about us, being in control. The Emperor also represents, again, the sign of Scorpio because it represents the planet Mars, ruler of Aries and Scorpio. Also upright is the Three of Summer. This is about you being able to socialize, you getting out there, making yourself available, or spending time with people that you love, celebrating. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. Wow. Last upright card, it is the Ten of Autumn. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and to respect the accomplishments of your ancestors. So the Ten of Autumn is a card about family and feeling abundant and loved and secure. Like I ain't got no worries kind of card. But back to these, at the root, foundation, the Nine of Spring is back. Again, look at all this fire. This is fire. This is fire. This is fire. This is fire. Our overall energy is fire. Only 2 cards that aren't so far. Again, the Nine of Spring says you've worked hard and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. So any bumps or whatever that pop up, anything that we have to ponder, any decisions we have to make, options we got to pick, pros and cons, we're able to do that. Or we're going to be able to do that. At the heart of the matter, the Four of Winter. Thoroughly think things through before making said decision. Apparently, it's what we got to do. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers that you seek. And for the masculine, particularly once you've done that, if you feel you need to do that, whatever you feel to do in your heart after that, in your spirit, you are to take this leap toward as the dreamer or the fool with Major Arcana card 0. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and clarify these with the numerology deck. We're just doing something completely unplanned here. Again, starting with card number 26 in love partnership and opening to patience and a 2, which again is about partnership. So this can be that energy of the world telling us to be patient while we are moved into a love partnership that is fitting of us. Patience. And 44, environment. An environment change can be required. The people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves maybe no longer resonate with us until we've got to make some sort of change there. This can also be about the need for us to spend some time in nature. And effort. Very 8 of Pentacles. From where we put the effort is from where we're going to get our outcome. I'll do one more. All right, that was interesting. So it's sort of like, is it here? Okay. 99, compassion. So there may be like some forgiveness or something necessary, maybe because of judgment, right? We come to this crossroad. We got to decide where we're going from here. And in order to get through that, we may have to show each other some compassion, whether, either in coming back together or in parting ways, right? We can still be kind. Also, physical activity as it relates to love. Like I said, this can be you taking, like by any means necessary, taking some sort of action and maybe going after the person you love. That can be the activity. And we can look at this in a different way, and it could be connected to sex maybe and staying in bed. Also in being social, to bring it back to PG, rated PG. This can be about you being out, being social. And that goes toward working on supporting, healing our individuality. It's self-love. It's making adjustments to ourselves, our personal environment, in order to create an environment for receiving from the universe rather than blocking energy. Effort. And it's card number 33, that communication. Yep, just as I suspected, the overall energy is forgiveness. Card number 96. Oh, 2 there atop that 7 of Cups for the feminine. Atop the 5 of Spring. Synchronicity. Now, in this case, with the synchronicity, now I'm feeling again that this is some sort of conflict or clash, like sort of fighting the signs, if that makes any sense. Like sort of being obstinate to what we see as what's happening before us, these all the sinks and signs that are popping up, and sort of like being conflicted by them, and internally, just an internal conflict of like trying to fight them, maybe even to ignore them. Perhaps because you're afraid of taking this leap of faith that sits under here. But atop the Fool is self-love. So again, masculine, you are guided to stop trying to be a people pleaser of other people, pleasing other people, and instead to focus on self. And that very well may involve you taking and walking a brand new path this week, beginning a brand new path. By paying attention to those signs and what's coming up in your soul, the pushes that you're getting, and then, deciding to follow them, listen to them, and to show yourself some love rather than everybody else all the time, And that doesn't mean to stop showing other people love. It just means balance. Again, we're back to where we started with the reading, that talk about balance. It's 50-50. Atop the 8 of Spring and the buzzing around, it's another 8. It's 88, abundance. So like I said, the 8 of Spring is representative of the universe working in your behalf, to forward you based on your good karma. The 8 of Spring is always a good card for me. 8 of Spring, 8 of Wands. And sure enough, it's topped by 2 more 8s and abundance. How awesome is that? Pink is one of the colors that represents Archangel Chamuel, the Archangel of Abundance, and also that represents Venus, the planet of abundance. Venus, which moves into Gemini this week on the 8th. How's that? For synchronicity. Can't ignore that message. Atop the Princess of Spring for the feminine is leadership. So the Princess of Spring is a fire energy, which can be in itself about leadership. Again, the Emperor also represents fire, that Martian energy, causing us to take back control of our lives and to, accept the opportunities which were presented with us confidently and passionately. The feminine getting some sort of opportunity this week that she is definitely to take charge and to pursue. Atop that 7 of Cups, we got 2 cards. The first is intuition, which is very funny because the 7 of Cups, although it's not a court card, for me, it's very Neptunian. It totally represents the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces for me. Super intuitive sign, right? Well, water signs tend to be in general, but that's it. Pisces, absolutely. Super intuitive sign. It's mutable like Gemini. So, anything you can do, we can do better. As the mutable signs. Also, compassion. And of course, 99 and 22 together make 1111. So that's a message, to the feminine from the universe saying, watch your thoughts, think positive, go ahead and make a positive decision so you can draw in what it is you truly want in your life, right? You can manifest. That's what the 1111 is here for you to do. So all these options, you'll be able to pick, one or more using your intuition and compassion rather than like ego or fear. Atop the Wheel, which is more abundance for the feminine, effort. So yeah, this abundance awaits you, but you're going to have to do a little something for it, which makes sense with the wheel representing the planet Jupiter. Again, Jupiter is the planet of, karma and luck. And so that's all based on where our effort has been. Where has your karma gone? In which direction has it gone? Has it been good karma? Have you filled up that good karma bank? Or has it been negativity? Do you need to turn it around? Because you had 1111 here, an opportunity to turn it around, to change your thoughts and the words you speak over yourself to positive ones. Crowning. A top renewal or judgment, it is moderation. So I think it's about not making a judgment on yourself or somebody else in terms of everything being on them. But again, it's 50-50. And 14 does equal 5. So that is that 50 or that half number, that halfway mark. And we each got to take some, all things in moderation. A little of this and a little of that. Not all of one weighing it down, or all of the other weighing it down on this side. Atop the 9 of spring at the foundation, it is spiritual partnership. It's another 9. 27 equals 9. So this is what is worth saving, right? You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive. I said before when I was reading this card that I felt what you created was your relationship. And now here it is. It's telling you, yes, spiritual partnership is what it is. It's worthy of protecting. So even though challenges pop up, we're not to worry. We're going to get through them. And here's how. At the heart of the matter, lastly, atop the 4 of winter, is parenting. This is very interesting because the 4 of winter is about like rest, recovery, making a decision. And parenting as relates to love, and in the figurative sense, is very like Empress, like to me, fertility, abundance in the area of love, coming up with creative ways to help to bring about abundance, so to further ourselves, to further our relationships, and also like having a baby to tend to. So it's sitting here atop this spiritual partnership and the 9 of spring or wands. So it can be still about, protecting that which is yours, protecting your baby. And again, that is your relationship. So now this reading is way out of order because I never would have done this first. But I guess that's the way it was supposed to happen. I will now do a spread from the perspective of the masculine using not the tarot deck, but let's do the fortune teller cards then. Again, beginning with proposal. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated. So, of course, it's the love reading. We're talking about romantic proposals. But you know what? Then again, a business opportunity may come up too. And that may be another reason why the 8 of Pentacles was one of the cards we started. You have to decide, is this business opportunity worth taking? Is it more important? Is it my priority or my relationship? Because there may be a clash there. And opening to thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in new and positive future. Proposal. Angel. Your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. Angel. And judgment. Soul searching will bring you inner peace in many areas of your life. I think on that note, with another judgment, I will cut. And it's also another world. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Overall energy is snake. Your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. But be careful. Divine feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. Himself. And the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender, whatever word one prefers to use, for the union this week, what he himself is willing to. And what the universe wants to help them both with, and wants them both to do, but they have to first affirm. So the universe is not going to do it for you. You have to ask for it and then meet it halfway. And here's the outcome. Divine feminine. It is flowers. This can be definitely connected to not only the celebration and potential for dating, you know, that knight of water coming to ask you out, maybe with flowers in hand, or you celebrating something, or even a marriage or engagement. There's, you know, the flowers, but it can also be connected to us showing that compassion that came up for the feminine before, right? Being generous with our love, basically. As a matter of fact, yes, be generous. Be generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, and maybe specifically this energy here with flowers. Thorns. That's funny. Flowers sometimes do have thorns. Roses have thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. So yeah, it's like despite the little things that pop up that are annoying, that get in our way, that block us, that distract us, we can still find a way back to a positive future if we work on that. So if we work on navigating the thorns, we'll be fine. Masculine as it relates to himself this week in love. Ooh, how he's feeling. Fulfillment and unconditional love. That's really beautiful. Some people may be getting married, maybe somebody close to you actually getting married or engaged this week. The masculine on the union as a whole. Aww. Love. Love surrounds all your connections. Move forward positively in all areas of your life. Overall, the devil. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. So this is like, again, listening to your heart, not to lies, not lying to yourself, not spending your time, your energy, your space with people, places, and things with which your soul doesn't resonate, as if you're tied to those things, not tying yourself to those things, binding yourself to those things because you don't want to be your true self and, you know, come out of whatever closet or bag you're in, you know, and live your real life. Be careful of that this week. It is time to sort of do what you know in your heart you're meant to do. And this is very much connected to the retrogrades that we're going through right now, but also the transit that Venus goes through this week, the Venus and Gemini. But there's also Venus has a transit this week, I think Monday, that I didn't talk about in the general because it wasn't like one of the major ones to me or for me. I think conjunction to Pluto, which is in retrograde in Capricorn this week. And it is supposed to be a favorable transit, if I remember correctly. But we're still going to be, want to be particularly mindful about making sure that we're remaining always like true to ourselves and honest with ourselves this week in particular. I mean, always we should, but definitely this week. This has come up in all three of the readings that I've done, you know, that sort of message. What the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union this week. What does she need? What does he need from her? It is lion. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. He wants her to 9 of wands, basically 9 of fire. Lion, of course, a fire element energy, represents the sign of Leo. And he wants her to be able to move ahead despite the thorns and other challenges or whatever that comes up. Like not to give up, basically. Again, what you've created is worthy of protecting. That's what lions do. They protect, they guard. The king of the jungle, right? Or queen. What the masculine himself is willing to do this week, he's got his mind on his luck and maybe the good karma again that he's worked on. He's looking for Jupiter's help. You're right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead, masculine. Jupiter does have your back. What the universe wants us to do, wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm. Oh my God. This is too beautiful. Proposal sitting here atop marriage and love. I can't take it. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated. And did you see the orb just fly back too? So this is what the universe wants to help us. But again, we have to seek that and affirm to it. We have to be committed to doing what we have to do to make this thing work out. And the outcome. Oh my God. I'm going to stop, I think, after this. I can't go any further. Unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. Oh my God. Wasn't that amazing? You guys saw me not even prepared to use these cards for this particular spread and you know, shuffle in front of you as I always do. Cut into 6. I mean, there's no way I could have chosen cards that good. Better cards on my own. The universe is so amazing. Let's do hashtag creepy deck. Let's see if I can quickly fix these though. Sorry about that. I just wanted to be able to really put them out of our way for the moment. So we'll do another spread from the perspective of the universe, again, beginning with dating or, you know, this very 2 of Cups type of card energy, and opening to one that's more Emperor-like. Again, the Ice King could be representative of Mercury, which moves into Cancer this week. It's currently located in Gemini, so ice sign Gemini or winter sign, sword sign Gemini, moves from there into Cancer. So more watery, like the 2 of Cups. Also this card representative of the sign of Leo for me, with this big white lion here, as well as Aries and Scorpio, because this guy's very Emperor-like and very Mars or Martian-like too. So taking back control of your life, your love life, your destiny, and putting in the work. That 8 of Pentacles. Dating. Here's the Jupiter energy again, the Sagittarius energy with young female, the opportunities that are coming our way toward a 4 dating, 4 2 of Cups style relationships in love, as it relates to love for us this week, dating, and blonde female, which is a representation for me in this deck of the divine feminine. So her opposite this card. There could be also something that I've been feeling and saying this also, it came up in all 3 readings, that is like started, initiated maybe this week, but that culminates a little later in the month with the full moon in Sagittarius with this red wine. So sort of like the fire again, representing the fire element, or wands again with the red on the full moon. There's a Sag full moon on the 18th of June. And so it could be representative of that. Courting man in connection with dating. Sounds perfect. I'll do one more. Wow. Freedom, which is very air signy, and you know, maybe most specifically for me, Aquarian energy, but you know, more importantly is about, yes, freedom, doing what you want, maybe dating who you want, how you want, when you choose, how you choose, out of the closet, out of the box, whatever it is, out of the bag. Freedom. Having relinquished control, or taking back control, ceasing to relinquish the control, rather, of your own life with that Emperor that keeps showing up. And Beauty Queen, which is like this very confident, again, fiery energy. It's very Queen of Wands, but it's also very Venus, the planet of beauty and confidence. Overall energy is mature woman. So divine being or couple recent past, masculine's higher self, near future, blocks to individual or shared progress, what the feminine can do, like to help herself, what the masculine can do to help himself, what the universe wants to help the two of us with, or each of us with, but we have to first affirm and commit to it, and the outcome. Wow. Boom. Divine being a couple, twin flame. So there's more of that fire. Again, could definitely be something that culminates around the Sagittarius or fire full moon. Recent past, wallflower, decision that had to be made, you sitting, needing to make a free will choice, sitting there, maybe just pondering it and not actually doing anything, not actually taking action. But what happens? This card, by the way, often represents for me the signs of Gemini, Capricorn, Scorpio. What happens? The masculine higher self, focused on past love, crossing twin flame. So it could be past love in that respect for sure. Not only past love, but a love from a past lifetime. So like talk about past love. Near future. Money. So money, work, effort, that pentacles or earth energy coming back yet again. Representative as far as the signs, of course, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Blocks to individual or shared progress before letting other people be in control. And, you know, needing to take back that control with this energy of the Emperor. Also, for some, there can be an actual person that's like this, some sort of authority. Maybe it's their boss. Again, their work is in the way. A parent, father, somebody who has been trying to take control of their life, or who has been this authoritative person in their life in the way. And we got to take back control of our own lives. That's what had been the block. What the feminine can do to help her freedom, yeah, get your life, get your freedom back. My apologies that I hadn't noticed that the camera stopped. There's been so much crazy stuff going on with Mercury, despite it not being in retrograde, which is pretty funny. I had also thought about, there's a gentleman who purchased, I do this gematria. You know, I speak several numerical languages, and I was been doing like gematria name readings. They take me, you know, I do them rather quickly. You order it, I was giving them back the same day, next day at the very latest, you know, returning them quickly. So it wasn't something that I was saving or whatever. Apparently something had gone on wrong with Messenger, and this person never got it. And I was reminded because he gave me his first and middle name, and each was an 8. So as I was looking for looking at the masculine spread, the last spread with the numerology deck, and he had that 88 atop the other 8, I was like, oh man, I got to do this guy's thing. I got to do it over because, you know, it's lost. It's lost. And with the general reading, I had the camera overheat yesterday, and in that case, I saw it. I was like, oh, like what's going on with the camera? And so I realized that it had stopped. And so I was able to just, you know, record the rest or re-record, you know, some without any, you know, too much bother. But in this case, I finished the spread and had started to dole out the advice because I kept hearing this, you know, message like, do the advice, do the advice. And I wish I had realized that, that maybe I was supposed to look up at the camera at that point too, to realize that it wasn't, you know, recording. So let me tell you how this spread ended, because, you know, it didn't disappoint, like in just like the rest of the ones that we had today. The feminine's card, I think that this was recorded, but I'll just go ahead and mention it. The feminine's card, what she can do to help herself with relation to being stuck by the energy of the Emperor or feeling as if she's under somebody else's control. Freedom, like reclaim her freedom, reclaim her time, as Congresswoman Maxine Waters says. And for the masculine, his was gifts. So similar to the other spread with the synchronicity, again, and his need to pay attention to his intuition and to listen to his heart this week. listen to the signs, be willing to take that leap of faith and, follow his gut. That was a reinforcement of that, reconfirmation of that. Gifts, as in like spiritual gifts. This is what's going to help you, to free yourself, like the feminine is doing. And what the universe wanted both to do was to celebrate, was this very Three of Cups kind of card. So being social again, finding time for yourselves, finding time for dating, finding time for romance, finding time for love, finding time to work on your partnership, to be together, to spend money, to spend time, all the stuff that we've been talking about the whole reading. And then the outcome was this very Ace of Pentacles type card. I think it was money. It was either money or work. I think it was work. So like we had come full circle. Again, where we put from where we put the effort, or into where we put the effort, is from where we're going to get the results. The outcome was indeed the outcome of that spread. So that was pretty cool. And then I had started doing the advice, so you didn't get to see the decks that I went through and the cards that I talked about while I was doing that, because all this time I'm just going and going and going, and I had no idea that the camera had long since stopped. So I apologize for that. We have some of this advice down. I haven't looked at it myself. I don't know what it is, but I was up to the angel therapy cards, and I had sort of opened to two. And the first was listen to your intuitive feelings, which I felt was more so for the masculine. Again, it was reconfirmation that he needs to pay attention. And there's another rainbow in this card. I talked about a rainbow that had shown up in the general reading that I felt was connected to LGBTQ. And that's like the difference. That's the thing you want. That's the closet, the bag you're in, from which you want to emerge. The other people are trying to keep you trapped in. Maybe specifically like an emperor type of energy, like your father. Might be, of whom you're afraid, to reveal your true self or something like that. But again, we have another indication, masculine, that is what you're intended to do. Whether it has to do with an LGBTQ issue or some other difference, again, it could be race, creed, color, whatever. You're meant to do what's in your heart. So listen to your intuitive feelings. Your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine. So those synchronicities that I said you were fighting, they were opposite that Five of Wands. Again, that another Martian type energy, like similar to the Emperor. They're real feelings that you're meant to follow. Also, cut your cords. So to toxic people, places and things, environments, like someone who wouldn't allow you, who would disallow you from being yourself. We have to cut etheric cords to those people. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. Ascended Masters. Cancel, clear, delete. Also, there's another card again that wants to be seen. It's be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. So cancel, clear, delete. Use only positive words and thoughts. Maybe this one is especially for the feminine with that 1111 that popped up for us with the 99 and the 22. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. So the words we speak over ourselves, the thoughts we have over our lives, we got to make sure they're positive. And where they haven't been, we need to ask for support in, voiding everything with which we no longer resonate. Send the Masters. Aww. Twin Flame. And again, second time this reading. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. On that note, especially with Ascended Masters having turned up again, to me that's totally full circle with the in connection to the rant that I went on, and the fact that real twin flames, the 144,000, are actually indeed Ascended Masters reincarnated. So I'll cut there. And we come to release, which is another like death type card. Work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. The overall energy is shield yourself. Protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energy by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. And on that note, I have to tell you that also a card had jumped out of this deck, and it was visualize success. So this is a similar type of instruction here. Envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. Envisioning yourself being successful in, reaching your truth and speaking your truth, living in your truth, being your truth. Further to the masculine from the angel therapy cards is throat chakra. This is for you to be able to speak up for yourself. You got something to say, it's time to let it out. And it's very Mercury, very Venus, again, each of which is a ruler of Gemini, where the sun is and where the moon will be this week. All about communication, right? Gemini, the great communicator. Mercury, the communication planet. So this is the time to spit it out. The angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth. Isn't it funny? I was just saying that as I laid this card down. Feminine, for us from the angel therapy cards. Have you asked the angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with the situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So we have to let them into our lives. And we have to first affirm these things too. Masculine, beware. Be careful of who you trust at this time. So there's potentially a 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, maybe even 10 of Swords, like real, somebody who would really betray you, or even the devil sort of energy surrounding you. Somebody who would betray you, or somebody who would try to keep you trapped, keep you, again, under thumb, under their control, their rules. Feminine from the fortune teller cards to us, it's Chariot. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focused. Chariot in the tarot represents the sign of Cancer, again, where Mercury enters this week. The Chariot in the tarot is a card of tremendous victory and also movement, of course. Masculine, very nice. For you is the 6 of Autumn. For me, this is a card of unconditional love. It represents pure unconditional love. It's about giving and receiving, without agenda. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, and to receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. And we can connect this back to, again, making time for our loved ones, making time for our mate, making time for ourselves to be in love, to find a mate, to be out there socializing where we can meet somebody. From the animal tarot to the feminine, it is the Princess of Winter, the Page of Swords. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. So very Gemini-like. I'm going to say I said what I said, That's basically our attitude. The Princess of Winter is indeed a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Masculine from the numerology deck to you. Oh, I love this for you. It's New Beginnings, card number 1. So this is another card about manifestation. You needing to pay attention to the signs, the things, your guts, and your thoughts, and the words you speak over yourself, and where you're making a focused intention, and on what, on whom, because that's what you're going to draw towards yourself. Also, orange. We've seen a lot of orange during this reading, and I didn't mention it before, but orange representative of the sacral chakra. And Archangel Ariel. So, those who work with angels, you may want to, work with her. And or those who are into chakra clearing, as we all should be, in my opinion, you may want to focus on sacral, masculine. Feminine. We also got a 1. 3 plus 7 equals 10 equals 1. And it's time for a timeout, a break, maybe even a vacation, a getaway, especially in consideration of the Chariot. We may need some time, maybe a moment for ourselves. That getaway can just be us, going somewhere to be alone for a moment with our thoughts. Timeout doesn't have to be, like a long break or separation from people, particularly your mate. masculine, mature man. So this is another aspect. This card represents another aspect of, again, like the Emperor for me. Somebody that is a father, a married man, a divorcee, a widower, somebody, yeah, with children, married with children, can be sort of overbearing. So this may be representative of you as a father or an authority in your life, your own father. And this, I just feel like for most it is something like that. Like it's the person, or represents the person with which you may have to contend this week in order to be able to live in that truth. This may be of whom you need to, beware. Like, let's say, beware, be careful who you trust at this time. And, we don't want to think about not being able to trust our family members, but it's in terms of who can you not trust with, like, your being, basically. If you can't be your true self around somebody, you can't trust them enough to respect and or love you as your true self, that's a problem. And even if that is, like a past relationship, could be a female. It's coming through as mature man, somebody that's overbearing or whatever. Maybe it's your ex-wife or the mother of your children or something like that, who's sort of in the way, and keeping up this relationship with them or appearances with them disallows you from being in your truth. Feminine for us, it's much more lighthearted. It is new love, which always tends to come with a new moon, which again we have tomorrow, actually. So falling into this week, the Gemini new moon. And that may be, in fact, what initiates and or brings us new love, which again, I feel for some may culminate in a very special way around the time of the full moon instead, the Sagittarius full moon on the 18th of June. I hope you guys have enjoyed the weekly love reading. Thank you again for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll be back. Namaste.